Dude, another thing I also found on TikTok, I find these stories like I won't watch a show. I will not watch a show, but sometimes TikTok will like make me think I should watch a show just because they do this thing where it's like, yeah, they explain they AI explain it, or like they explain it from a different language, but they don't completely understand what's going on, so they just like make it nonsensical, but it makes sense in a way that you still like you still contain like what the story is about. And if you're like, I should watch it for myself. Like I remember this one. By the way, there's a Roblox game of it. I sent it to Rooter. There's this one game. There's one show. I'm sorry, that I thought was really cool. It was like a K-drama thing where it was kind of like Squid Game, but different, where it's like instead of it just being random people that want to get money, it is a bunch of school kids. They're trapped in a school, and each game is like representing of like, you know, a kid's game, blah blah blah. But it's like they die obviously when they don't do it right. Like the first scene you see in the game, there's like it's kind of like, you know, red light green light, but instead of like being outside, they're in the classroom and they have desks and shit, like a lot of messes in the way, so it's kind of harder for you to stop if you trip over something because you're always gonna fall over and just slap and die. So there's this one like little bobblehead toy that's like in the front of the classroom, and it'll turn around and like just make your head explode if you move. And like the next game is like tag, and it's like a giant baby that eats the kids. And if you're wearing a banana suit, no, I think it was a monkey, a baby or a monkey. And if you have they make you wear a banana suit, like you look like a little banana. It's stupid. And um if you get caught by the monkey, obviously it eats you. And if they were like solving the problem by being like, if you wear a banana suit, the monkey will just grab you instantly because you're a banana. Obviously, makes sense. So they took off all their suits and they're like, it's over. This thing's not gonna kill us no more. Then obviously the monkey was like, well, I don't have any more bananas. Humans are next. And they started scrumdiddly umptuousing on the kids. And I was like, oh, now y'all, no one can escape. It doesn't matter. So I like it was just really cool to see, and no one talks about that show. And the fact that Roblox made a game of it makes me really want to play it with Rooter. Like Cabot, wait, does Cabot have Roblox? Cabot, if you have it, we should play it together. Like, anyways, but I know this is one of the AI stories I was watching because I was just like, bro, this. I'm waiting for part two. Hold on.
The baby was just a month old when the chandelier above his head suddenly swung. Then it hit him hard. The mother felt very sorry for herself. The baby was fine, but only 4 ribs were broken. At the age of 2, she stabbed a fork into a socket. When she was 2 years old, she stabbed a fork into a socket and broke all her veins, but she survived to the age of 7. That day, the family was having a nice dinner. The boy felt a surge in his stomach. Nothing happened to his parents, but he got food poisoning. After examination, there were more bacteria than cells in his body. What's even worse is that at the age of 8, he screamed for a long time in a race with his peers. He was hospitalized. He was hospitalized in the CPU. When he was released, his mother looked at her son lovingly and prayed that he would have 9 lives like a cat. Unfortunately, he had already wasted 8 of them. But a year later, the time had come. To celebrate the boy's 9th birthday, the family decided to go on a field trip. At first, the atmosphere was harmonious, but soon the parents got into a fight over something trivial. As the conflict escalated, the boy got up and ran away. When his mother found him at the edge of the cliff, they started to pull each other apart again. At that moment, an accident occurred. In the eyes of the mother shocked, the boy fell straight into the abyss, instantly sinking to the bottom of the sea. 3 days later, the police arrived at the scene. The mother fainted and was found at the edge of the cliff. The father disappeared and was wanted on the internet. When the boy was pulled out of the sea, he was already dying. The mother cried her heart out outside the operating room. But after hours of resuscitation, the boy still lost his 9th life. But just as the coroner was preparing for the autopsy, the body moved strangely. The baby was just a month old when the chandelier—
like, these stupid little AI things explaining like a movie or show scenario or whatever, it'd be like, why is this kid still being alive, you know? And they'll sometimes like show you the whole story. Like there was this one with an anime where this girl was like, you know, she got hit by a car, you know, the regular isekai, and she got hit by Bus-kun, and the next, like, she ended up being the villain of the game she was going to play before she got run over when she was going home. And she was like, well, I don't want to be the villain because the story just upsets me, the way that she literally fucked over everyone in the story. So she's like trying to like change the story in a way so she could be seen as a good person, because like she generally is a good person. And like the stuff like that makes my brain go brr, and makes me want to go watch the shows and shit. Look up the Reddit on TikTok. Yes. Wait, can I show you this other one real quick before we do? I think this is the TikTok where no, actually, can't you look at your most, like, recent watches? Hold on, I think it's settings. Using this tablet as, like, a thing, as a Steam Deck is such a fucking good idea. I love this shit. Okay. Favorites.
Woman
Here.
puts sleeping pills into a dish. Then she takes out a kitchen knife and cuts it in half. Then she throws the pills into a bottle. She puts milk powder full of ants into the bottle. And then she heated it up. She feeds her baby a bottle full of poisoned milk powder. Looking at her baby's innocent eyes, the mother felt no remorse, because she was in a hurry to meet her young assistant. Bringing a baby with her was a bad idea. Soon the baby fell asleep without moving. But when the woman arrived at the bar, her husband came home early. He found ants left in the bottle and a bad feeling came over him. The man rushed to the baby's room, but the baby was no longer moving. Jack rushed to the hospital with his daughter. After the doctor's efforts to save the baby finally woke up from the coma, Jack thought it was the ants that almost killed his daughter. But then the doctor's laboratory report made him completely dumbfounded. Looking at the infusion needle into the baby's arm, Jack shed tears of heartache. He couldn't stand this evil wife any longer. In his subsequent series of operations will also make you completely convinced of his high intelligence. Jack is usually an introvert and not very expressive. Due to the economic crisis, he lost his job. Apart from taking care of the kids, he spends the rest of his time reading romance novels. His wife is the director of a training center. When she saw her husband doing nothing every day, she couldn't help but be angry. In the long run, their lifestyles became very different. The husband lived frugally, but the wife was always a spendthrift. That day, she had just finished working with her assistant. She received a call from the receptionist. She didn't realize that her husband was already waiting outside the door. Nervously, the woman unlocked the door. When Jack came in, the assistant was pretending to organize papers. The wife rushed to introduce the two of them, but when he saw their awkward expressions, Jack had his suspicions. On the way back, he asked his wife why she didn't wear shoes in the office, but the woman said it was her freedom. Seeing that Jack was as nagging as a woman, the wife lied that she had to meet a client and asked her husband to go home first. However, she turned around and went to the home of her young assistant. The woman happily told him she had taken off her wedding ring. On the other hand, Jack realized that his wife's car keys had an extra one that wasn't his. Woman put sleeping.
See, that's what I'm saying. Is that like I'll go on TikTok and I'll find shows and they won't like because I think like you can copyright strike if you put actual shows. Because I remember back then people would put episodes and movie. No, they still do. They still do. It just so you won't find them as often anymore. Like they have to explain the shows now. And like I be sitting here waiting for the second, third, fifth, whatever chapter. Bitch, this thing wait, no. Oh yeah, no, they don't have a second chapter. That's why I was pissed off. I was like, bro, you can't show me this and it's not tell me what's up next. Let's see.
Am I the asshole for telling my daughter she's not as a big a priority as her brothers? I have 3 kids.
See?
My daughter,
See, that's what I'm
17.
talking about. I hope, like, they be giving you the most assholey type titles, and sometimes it's like a 50-50 shot. I'm like, yeah, you're definitely an asshole, and yeah, no, you're okay. Because it's probably gonna be some shit where, like, the daughter's an asshole, and that's why he's not a priority no more. But, like, that's what I'm saying, is that you get these drama ones, like, am I the asshole? Like, I killed someone. Like, am I the asshole? I literally set my mother on fire. Like, it'd be stuff like that, and it's like a reason to it.
And 2 twin boys, 9. We recently closed on a house and we're moving soon. It's a substantial upgrade for all of us. The argument comes from choosing the bedrooms. Clearly me and my wife take the master, and all of my kids want the converted attic on the top floor. Me and the wife gave it to the twins. For one, there's more of them, and long term we can put in dividers in the attic to actually split it into 2 bedrooms and a common rec area. That is, if they want to sleep separately, which at this point they don't. My daughter wanted the room as it's the biggest and also comes with an ensuite. After a lot of back and forth, I told her the day she doesn't automatically get first pick because she's older. B, she's moving away to university in the summer and it makes no sense to keep a nice and big space like that empty for most of the year. When that didn't convince her, I told her that while she'll always have a place under our roof, the fact remained that she has another 6 months of living here full time, whereas her brothers have another 9 years, so they were the priority. I told her to choose from any of the other 3 bedrooms. Am I the asshole for telling my daughter she's not as a big—
See, like a dumb, simple story like that. Also, yeah, the dog's a fucking asshole. Because it's like, if you're gonna leave, why would you keep the biggest room? If you know your brothers need a room for themselves. If they're gonna like divide and shit and make it like a medium-sized room, that's not like a good idea. See, room space, bitch. You got 3 rooms to pick, girl.
Am I the a-hole for telling my whole family my stepdad's secret? This is a long one, so if you stick with me, I thank you.
I don't want to.
Am I the asshole for refusing to let my daughter go to dinner with her boyfriend's family?
Definitely, potentially.
I, 38 female,
50,
have a
50.
daughter, 17 female. A couple weeks ago, her boyfriend's 19 male's family went on a day hiking trip. They asked—
Wait, you think the dad's an asshole? I also, the fact that you have fucking sense is funny. I think the daughter's an asshole personally because she's the one going, like, they apparently have 3 different rooms, 3 or 4 different rooms. I don't know the house's thing. He didn't count that big room, so I'm guessing it's 4. Like, I'm guessing it's 3 bedrooms in the attic. But if you have like a giant attic and then if you're trying to put the twins in there and you're gonna make dividers to make it a medium-sized room so they both can like have their experience and whatever, I think it makes more sense to give them the bigger room since it's like you said, the girl's leaving, like she's only gonna be living there temporary. So why would you get the biggest room in the house? And at the end of the day, it's still nice to have a room to yourself, and especially if the room is soundproof. Like me, I always had a room to myself, but the room I'm in right now, the first ever room I had where it's soundproof, which helps a lot with content creation and shit like that. So I can scream at y'all and no one can really hear me at night since I'm a nighttime streamer. So it's like, as long as you have privacy, as long as you have your own room, you can make your own space, you can do whatever you want with it. I really don't care. So it's the fact that she's over here saying the attic should be hers just because it's the biggest. Like, there's no other reason, but it's just the biggest. No, like if you have two people, it makes more sense to give the two people the bigger space than the one person. And we also don't know how big the other rooms are because they're obviously not gonna be closet rooms if it's gonna be a big enough house to have 3 rooms and then it's a attic that's like furnished and not looking like shit, you know? Because there's a lot of houses where like the attic and basement looks like hell. They look like shit. I'm mistakenly heard wrong. That's valid. I do that all the time.
I asked my daughter to come. All of them, including my daughter, love hiking. I didn't think it would be an issue to go. I was wrong. From what the Forest Service guy told me, along with what my daughter said, there was a rock slide halfway up the trail. My daughter fell and got hurt. Her boyfriend's family decided to finish the hike to the top and come back later to help her down.
Oh
Ew.
no! Oh no!
Oh, ew.
Holy
That's a red fucking
shit.
flag.
Even after my daughter told them she was in horrible pain. A couple hours later, the Forest Service ranger found her. He loaded her on a 4-wheeler and helped her down the hill.
Oh,
The
that's
FSR
evil.
called me. I immediately came. We left a note on the BF's car, along with the FSR stayed in the area to let them know that my daughter was taken to the hospital. The whole way to the
I'll pause that real quick. That's an instant breakup for me, baby. That's a red flag because imagine you're with your girlfriend, boyfriend, whatever, and if y'all going on a little trip with your family, and if you break your leg, then they're like, "Whoops, walk it off or something," because we're gonna continue this trip without you. Like hiking is free 99, right? Like you're not spending that much money to go hiking. So the fact that you're over here, like telling this person it's a forest, by the way, people get lost in the forest all the time. There's always like little like they always like animals and shit that can go fiddle with you and shit. Like it's not the safest place to leave someone alone. And also you don't know people because it's a hiking trip, it's a hiking area. There's no cameras in the forest, so someone can scoop her up, kidnap her, eat her up. A lot of people, like, there's bad people out there. So the fact that a family kept walking and left her there until a forest ranger found her. Yeah, no, I'm the same way. You are not going to dinner with my daughter, and actually, you're breaking up because that's not gonna happen. You're a dickhead boyfriend. Like, at least you could have stayed with her if you're gonna leave her there. At least you could sit with her for because you don't know how long it takes to hike. Like, I've only hiked once because I'm a liar. I hiked a couple of times, but I don't really call like walking up a mountain hiking because it's a pathway. I think hiking is mostly like you with the actual land. So I think Puerto Rico is the most I can count as hiking, and that took us an hour and a half to get up to the top. So I can only imagine like when she broke her leg or whatever, when she hurt herself. And so that means she probably like sat up there for like a good half hour to an hour waiting for them to get back down. Like, no.
hospital, she was sobbing, not only from the pain, but because they left her. It deeply hurt her. She broke her foot/ankle in 3 places.
Hell
And
no.
they left her there?
And that
She
can be
needed
damaging
surgery.
because if it breaks and if you leave it there, you can like heal the wrong way.
Next 2 days, she was in the hospital. They didn't check on her once. We saw their posts and photos on social media from the top of the mountain, talking about what a great time they had.
Oh, fucking dead.
Seeing how hurt she was, we spoke to our daughter about what happened and what she wanted from this relationship. She told us she didn't want to be with her BF anymore. She sent her boyfriend a text saying that she was breaking up with him.
Good.
After a flood of messages, we all blocked them. 6 days ago, we started getting notes taped to our cars, doors, some left for her at office, at school, and yesterday, the ex-boyfriend came to the house. I opened my main door but left my security screen door closed and talked through it. He asked if his family could take my daughter to dinner as an apology, since his family didn't think what they did was wrong, but he loved her and his family wanted to clear the air between them.
They still don't think what they did was wrong.
That family.
This is probably where I'm the asshole. I flat out told him that he's not allowed to take my daughter anywhere. I stressed since he chose to leave my daughter where she was hurt, I no longer trusted him to be around her. Then I shut the main door before he could say anything else. Now, some of my mutual friends are saying I'm an asshole for not allowing them to make it up to my daughter and closing the door on him. Am I
You
the
could
asshole?
have made it the first fucking minute she broke her leg to make it up. You take her to the doctor. You don't even leave, bitch.
Asshole.
Hell no. You absolutely did
Say
the right
no.
thing and protect your child from a shitty family. They left your daughter in danger. What if some random, I don't know, random animal or a mountain?
See, even he thought the
Am I
same
the
thing.
asshole for killing tens of millions of people because I wasn't accepted to an art? Am I the asshole?
What the fuck? I didn't expect that one. Oh god, I want to look at the comments. I want to look at the comments. Is there a way for me to look at the comments? No, no. Hold on. How do you do this? How do you use technology? Yeah, you gotta scroll it. Not the asshole of divorce. She gives off red flags. I don't get why he was rejected. Oh yeah, they're talking about like how he was rejected. Let me guess. You're from Austria. Oh my god. I think you're from Germany. Not the asshole divorce major red flags. Oh my god, the divorce memes are great. Bro, yeah. No. Oh god, we're going to hell. God. You know what's funny? I was talking about, wait, was that in my server? I don't know whose server it was, but we were talking about the Holocaust and shit recently. And I remember somebody was like, yeah, apparently it was a Jewish school that denied him. And I was just like, oh my god, that's dirty. That's the most pettiest shit I ever heard in my life. Man did a whole genocide over art school. Like, damn. I can't with people. That's just one. Shut up.
Update. Am I the a-hole for
Wait,
quietly packing my stuff and leaving my family's house without telling anyone after my dad threatened to kick me out? A
No.
week after my post, I ended up moving in with a friend who was kind enough to let me stay and pay a very small amount in rent in return.
I want a more dramatic one.
Am I the asshole for covertly losing weight as a bridesmaid and refusing to be set up with her friend after overhearing the bride call me fat?
Whoa.
Ooh.
My 30 female friend Kate's 30 female wedding was last weekend. We went to grad school together, but haven't seen each other in person in about 2 years, though we FaceTime and kept up enough since then enough to where she invited me to be in her wedding. However, a large part of this is that her fiance, Kyle, 30 male, has 8 groomsmen, and she needed enough people.
Sounds like a cult
That's a
already.
lot.
About 6 months before the wedding, the bridesmaids were all talking in a group chat on Discord, and I overheard Kate, who must have thought she was on mute or that her voice wouldn't carry, rather snidely turn to Kyle and say that I would, quote, round out the group because I would be a good, quote, counterweight to her fiance's friend Tim. Oh, the idea being that
That's
Tim and
fucked
I
up.
were both obese. When she moved back towards the mic and said something about not being on mute, I acted like I couldn't hear anything.
No, I would have called her out instantly. Like, but you call me fat? Like, you can be for real because I'm gonna be fat, but you still ugly bitch. Like,
And
would've
said
been
something like, yeah, you were really far away. You sounded like you were underwater. I couldn't hear you.
Girl.
Ugh.
I had been planning on losing weight anyways, but I lost 35 pounds of fat in
Okay.
6 months
Whoa.
and put on 4 pounds of muscle, largely out of
Ooh.
spite.
Yes, we
Spite
love it.
is very
That is the definition of revenge body.
I've always hated pictures of myself and don't maintain social media, so it wasn't outside the norm for no one to see me. As soon as I knew what my plan was, I ordered a size down in my bridesmaid's dress and then had it tailored in a little more. I wore the tightest Lululemons I could find when I met everyone at the hotel the day before, and seeing the visceral shock on Kate's face was priceless.
That's
Beautiful.
amazing.
At the wedding, I still walked in with Tim, but he was a bit stiff and awkward around me, which I attributed to nerves or just not caring for strangers. Later, after enough alcohol had been passed around, the truth finally came out that Kate wanted to set me up with Tim, which I
Ew.
refused. And before she was 86th, Kate said, quote, "You're not supposed to be skinnier than me. You're upstaging me at my own wedding."
Ew,
There it is.
We didn't have a knockdown, drag out fight, and it wasn't particularly dramatic, but apparently the other bridesmaids and groomsmen got the impression that I had somehow been a bitch to Tim, and that it was shitty of me to refuse a date with him. Kate and I haven't
Ew.
spoken since the reception, during which I said congratulations and essentially ghosted after things went south. And now
I'd be petty. I'd be petty. You're not the asshole. Cause like sometimes people would be too fucking much. Like they be too much on their weddings. That's what me personally. If I ever had the privilege of getting money for a wedding, I'm making it small and I'm not doing that bullshit shit. I always hear like bridesmaids being dickheads to like the people around them, or like the groomsmen being dickheads around them and like nitpicking people. That's so ew. Like you're really gonna like worry about somebody's weight or like try and like get them with somebody. Like, do you even know them personally? Like personality wise, would they even connect? Like, are you just assuming they'll be cute because they're gonna be a fat couple? Like, that's fucked up. No, get away from me.
Now I'm
Ugly bitch.
sitting here wondering if I'm the asshole.
No, you're not.
Am I the asshole for refusing to pay for my boyfriend's food and his birthday?
I wanna do a more to asshole because I like these videos. I kind of want to do a stream where I just like watch Are You the Asshole? Because like people do that on TikTok. People do that for streams. Like they do like am I the asshole? Blah blah blah. I don't have the fucking mental energy to read them all, so that's why I'm just gonna get videos though, and people will be like, "Am I the asshole?" And it's like you choose like if they're the asshole or not. Because I like doing these type of things. I always do them on my own in the comment sections, being like, "You're not the asshole," because I'm gonna watch one more, and then we're gonna go play Resident Evil because I like these. These are fun. We should do a stream of it. This was not the plan for today, but like it's fun, dude.
Am I the asshole for not acting impressed by my wife's accomplishment? And accomplishment is in quotes, like
That's like an instant like you're the asshole. Like this is what I'm talking about. People be titling their shit like they're in the right when obviously no.
accomplishment. We are already getting sass, you know. My 28 male wife, 26 female, and I've been married for close to 7 years. We currently have 5 kids together. 6 male, 4 male, 3 female, and my wife gave birth to fraternal twins, son and daughter, a year and a half ago.
Oh shit. Okay.
I almost read this one for 100.
Were these people born like 20 years ago, 30, 40 years ago?
They might just be Mormon.
That's like our parents like getting married at like 21, like having like all like 5 kids before 30.
To give math really quick, she's 26 now. They've been married for 7 years. She was 19. So, and their first kid is 6.
Damn.
How
So
old
they
the man?
started. They got.
How old's the man? How old the dude? Every time I hear like a 19-year-old getting married and he's having like 20 kids, it's always the dude that's like 30 plus years old. It's like icky relationship. How old the dude?
Married and literally started trying for kids.
Wow, yeah.
So young mom.
Yeah.
My wife intended to graduate high school the year we got married, but life got in the way. My dad had given me an investor relations type of role at his company, so we were traveling a lot, and then after that, our kids needed our attention. After our twins were born, my wife was bedridden for longer than we and even the doctors expected. Since we had to hire extra hands to do the childcare tasks that involved mobility, my wife had some time on her hands. Her mother told her that her friend, who proctors at a testing center, said they give GED tests basically every week, at least across the state of Idaho, and that she should dust off her general education knowledge. She started browsing her laptop and decided to roll in a GED prep class online. It seems she was better at self-paced learning than classroom learning because the stuff they were testing her on came way easier for her now than it did even then, though she's been away from structured classroom instruction for many years now. Even after she was back on her feet, she'd be studying for it after she dropped the older 2 off at their respective schools. I would see what she was studying and it looked pretty rudimentary, and I knew that getting a GED basically means nothing and that she probably wouldn't be able to apply it to anything career-wise or commit full-time to community college, where I doubt the job prospects for students.
I see where this is going. I have this assumption because he's saying that his dad gave him investments and stuff like that. I'm assuming because like a dad won't give like a fucking 18 investments unless like he taught him like unless y'all rich and stupid. So like I'm guessing he's probably like around like late 20s, early 30s, whatever. I think he's like I honestly, because he's not telling his age, I'm assuming he is a grown man and that he did the type of shit where he wanted a young girl, he grabbed a young girl, and because of like what was going on, she couldn't finish her high school. And honestly, I would be happy for her because if you're gonna be like you finish high school after all these years, like you got your GED and now you can go to college and get more education and it's become a better woman. Like, why would you not be happy for your wife? That's why I'm like, this guy sucks. You're the asshole.
Students are that great right now either. So my wife ended up
Notice how he said his dad gave him a job. See, look at the comments. The comments even know. Like, how should we be accepting of your achievements if you're just daddy's money? Like,
in the test, and the other day she bounded into the room and said, quote, "Yes, I passed. I knew she would since she was doing well on the practice tests and the GED consistently tests on the same rudimentary topics. I did not gripe at her, but merely
he tells his age? Let me see. Hold on. How old is he?
Am I the asshole for not acting impressed by my wife's accomplishment? And accomplishment is in quotes, like accomplishment. We are already getting sass, you know? My 28 male wife, 26 female.
28 male. Oh, he is 28. So I was right. Oh, wait. So hold on. That's 3 year difference. That still sucks though, cause you can tell that he's rich though, cause his dad gave him the job. And also, what the fuck are you doing being, hold on, 18 so 19, 20. So what are you doing as a 21-year-old messing with an 18-year-old? Okay, let me come in here, cause let me tell y'all real quick. I am like, what, 22? Me personally, I'm not going over the age of 2 years over me, because, it's like, haha, it's so funny to have an older guy, blah, blah, blah. But, like, you can tell, like, you have a different, like, lifestyle when you're, like, 18, 21, 30, blah, blah, blah. Because, like, 30-year-olds over there, they finish college, they have their job, they're probably having a house, they have a life, they're adult. 20-year-olds are, like, mid-adults. Like, you are still a kid, but also an adult. Like, you're learning your stuff, you're figuring out what you want to do in life, blah, blah, blah. You're probably still in college. Like, so, and it's like 18-year-old fresh out of high school. Not even, she wasn't even fresh out of high school. She was still in high school. So she was fresh out of high school, mid-high school, whatever. So, you know, high schoolers, they don't have bills to pay. They're doing their own thing. They're still a kid. So you are fucking with an 18-year-old when you were 20-something years old in college. And if you have the audacity to fuck over her life, probably, and they have the audacity to not even be happy that she accomplished something, but yeah, you want her to be a baby maker and make 5 kids. What? Not a dream different. They said that she was 18, wait, 17 or 18 when she, wait, hold on. 6. I'm counting 6, 7, 8, but you're right, 7, 8. Nah, there's 2 years difference. Still, it's like weird, because it's like, she would have been like, what, 18, then like, he's gonna be 20-something years old. And also, it also depends on, like, where your birthday is, right? Because, like, sometimes people will have birthdays really close together. I don't know. Or far away from each other. I don't know. Still, like, it's like when you're 20. When I was 20, I was in college, you know? I'm over here, like, I think that's when I started VTubing. Wait. No. Wait. Yeah, that's when I started VTubing. That's when I started, like, trying to figure out what I wanted to do in, like, my life and shit. Like, that, 20 years is, like, usually, like, you get a job, get your own money, have a car, figure out what you want to do in life, go to college for it. Probably if you are someone who has the ideals to do it, like, you do hustles on the side to figure out, like, how your career is gonna go. So it's like, you have a different schedule in life compared to a high schooler that probably just go to school, does sports, go home, play games, go to sleep. That's probably it for high schoolers. So it's still weird. I don't know. I think it's still weird.
And I've been married for close to 7 years. We currently have 5 kids together. 6 male. Center said they give GED tests basically every week, at least across the state of Idaho. Doing well on the practice tests, and the GED consistently tests on the same rudimentary topics. I did not gripe at her, but merely nodded at her and went back to answering an important email from a client.
What the fuck?
And again, it's like his dad gave him the job, yet he wants to, like, be an out, because, like, it's not like his dad is giving her perks for being with him. So she probably doesn't even have her own job and shit. That's what's annoying.
Seemed to get upset, and I asked her what was wrong. She said I didn't seem that excited, and I said that it's great that she passed, but I have been telling her that it was easy and no big deal. But if she needed something to prove to herself, she knew the high school concepts, I guess the money was well spent. She got even more upset and said she worked very hard, and this was the essential building blocks to being able to start a career. Am I the asshole? My wife passed her GED test, but she wasn't exactly graduating from college and wouldn't be for at least 15 years. I just didn't see any immediate applicability to her test, but I am glad she had something to challenge her while she was coming off being unable to fully care for the kids.
Asshole.
Yeah, no, I feel like he's just the biggest asshole. Like, he sounds so, like, pretentious and privileged. Even if you in the comments are being like, he was saying that the fact that she has time on her hands when, like, she was bedridden. Like, it's not the best idea to, like, study and do shit when you're literally in bed sick. And it's just like, time on her hands was what kid, like, all them kids, like, wasn't it 5, 6? She said she popped out twins at one point. Like, she had no time. Like, once those kids end up going into school, yeah, she'll have time again for, like, until, like, what, 8 to 2, 8 to 3. That's like when she can go. I don't know. It's stupid. Hold on, let me switch my gaming scene real quick. And next time I start opening up everything for Resident Evil, let me start switching shit. So see, that's why I like Reddit stories. We can talk about the dumb shit people say, or, like, see if they're the asshole or not. Me personally, I think that dude's an asshole, because I feel like no matter how small the accomplishment is for your partner. If they're happy, you should at least be happy. Like if Kage came to me today and was like, oh my god, I found a penny on the floor, look at the penny, I'm like, oh shit, let's go, a penny. Like, I don't know, stupid shit like that. Like, you should just be happy for your partner whenever they get an accomplishment done. So that's why I don't understand that type of mindset where it's like, oh wow, you finished school, cool. Like, what? Not everyone finishes high school. So it's like, I think it's cool. Like, I think it's nice.